Your attention is your most valuable currency, and you're giving it away for free. And we all know that in today's world, there's this constant need for attention. Everyone has to constantly be seen in order to feel whole. And first things first, I want to start by saying that not everyone deserves your time. You don't owe anyone anything. And the moment that I put myself in a position to get out of this type of mindset where I felt like people are entitled to certain things that I have going on within my being, was the moment that I started to feel more free. Because in today's world, attention is more valuable than money. Everyone is constantly fighting for it. Because what happens when people acquire everything that they want in this lifestyle? There's only so much that you can get before you start to feel like you're missing something. But attention is something that people is constantly seeking. Every time we get on social media, we scroll mindlessly. We're investing in someone else's vision and not our own. And it's not even just about social media, but it's just about the way that so many people live their lives and they don't even recognize what's really going on behind the surface. Just think about the world that we live in. Think about the way that people dress these days. Think about the reason why so many people may post on social media. A lot of it is just validation seeking activities. Even myself, I got to the point one stage where I was going out every weekend and I couldn't really grasp what was going on. I didn't really understand why I felt the constant need to be surrounded by so many different type of people, more specifically women, and what that was doing to me, until I realized that I was healing and I was hurt. I was doing all of these things because I was trying to put myself in a position to seek that form of validation from women outside, knowing that I had deeper rooted problems that I had to get in order, knowing that I was seeking that attention that was not worthwhile, but it was just making me feel something in that very moment. So I say all that to say that we have to put more focus on what we're giving our energy to. The things that have our attention, the things that have our time are going to play such a huge impact on where we end up in the future. And you can shift these things. That's the best part about life, because it doesn't matter how many bad patterns that you may have at this very moment. The moment that you make your mind up, things can change. We need to start putting our focus on things that are going to provide us some sort of value or put us in a better position. And I feel like one thing that so many people get confused on is the fact that they think that they're unfocused. They think that, okay, all of these things may have my attention, whether they're conscious of it or not, but it's not the fact that they're unfocused. You're just surrounded by things that are designed to hijack your mind. There's nothing that we can do about these dopamine hits. It's always going to be there. We get the same feeling from things such as social media that we get from eating our favorite foods. So it's meant to hijack our mind and put us in a position where we crave it and we feel like we need it. The problem isn't that. The problem is just being conscious and aware that this is what's happening, and then turning your attention and putting on things that are ultimately going to better your life. And the way that I like to think of this word attention is as a plant. The more that you water it, the more that you feed it, the more that it's going to grow. Whatever it is that you're giving your attention, your time, and energy to is going to continuously grow. It's an investment. And as human beings, we're naturally tied to our investments. Just think about how much the world would change if you controlled your attention the way that you control your money. The world would be a completely different place. You wouldn't spend your time pouring into people. You wouldn't spend your time in certain environments that are taken away from your energy, because you know that your attention is way more valuable than that. And this is exactly how we have to start moving. And one thing that I personally had to learn the hard way is the saying, and I might be saying it slightly wrong. If y'all know, drop a comment, correct me. Cool, that's great. But they say that the eyes are the gateway to the soul. So I had to learn that in order for me to be purified, in a sense, internally, I had to control the things that I was looking at, the things that had my attention. For me to get out of this position in my life where I felt like I was in a very lustful nature, I had to control what I was allowing my eyes to see. If I was constantly going out to the club and putting my attention on women that I know is promiscuous or things that really aren't going to help me reach that true point of solitude within myself, I was going to always be in that emotional state. This is just something that I had to be aware of. And what you really have to start asking yourself, like I did, is it worth it? Is this worth my energy? And 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be no. And that right there will let you know exactly how you should be moving. It's just a matter of you doing what you need to do in order to remove yourself. Just think about it. Peace, success, creativity, all of those things require attention, but you cannot do any of that the longer that your mind is scattered and all over the place. You sell yourself short when you try to pour into everything and give each and every person that you may have in your life your time, attention, and energy. This leads to you not maximizing your overall potential in the work that you're doing, where you're investing your time, and then you may get poor results, and you think this is a reflection of your overall, let's just say, skill, but in reality, it's not. Your mind is just focused on so many different things that you can't even maximize your true potential or results. That's all it is. So the key takeaway in this is we just have to learn how to be intentional. Not everything deserves your eyes, your clicks, and your attention. Getting out of that people-pleasing mindset. Getting out of that mindset where you feel like you may owe somebody something, and focusing solely on your overall growth and well-being. We've been trained to underestimate our attention, but it's really the foundation of everything. Your thoughts, your habits, your future. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. And one thing that took me so long to realize is that too often, it's flowing towards things such as distractions. It's flowing towards noise and not towards purpose. This is why I personally believe that we have to be content with who we are. We do not need those quick fixes in order to feel something. You have to be grounded within yourself, making sure that you're making the right decisions in your life. Because if you are, then you're controlling what doesn't and what does get your attention, what you pour into and what you don't pour into. And that's all that life's about. But your mind truly is the gateway to your future, and we have to control it. This is why it's very important to watch your friends, watch family, watch anybody that you may have around you, because I promise you, people will pull you down. They say one bad apple spoils the whole bunch. It's like a virus. Once you got somebody in your circle that's not helping you get to where you need to get, that form of complacency or laziness, eventually everyone in that circle will contract. You may not even realize it because it'll sneak up on you at the moments where you're most vulnerable or you don't realize it. And I personally went through this. I used to be in a friend group when I was younger, and everyone used to smoke. Everyone used to do drugs. So I was one of the people that used to do it occasionally, but at some point I eventually stopped. And then I realized, like, okay, I'm still surrounded by everybody that smokes, but that's fine. I won't do it. And as time went on, at a moment where I may have been hurt, I may have been sad or going through something, I slipped up. And then you realize that, okay, I'm surrounded by these type of people, so I'm more likely to do it in instances where I may feel something or where I may need to just get away. But if I'm surrounded by people who prayed or who went to go work out when they were hurt, these are the things that I would have been doing. So those are just little things that you just have to take into account, understanding how important it is to have the right people around you. Where your attention is where your life is going to be headed. Really take the time to think about that. What things do you focus on majority of the time on a daily basis? Are you thinking about bettering your life? Are you thinking about ways that you can grow? Or are you just thinking about superficial things? Because that right there will give you a clear insight on where you're headed. But this form of peace that you desire is going to require presence. It's going to require you being aware of what you need to do in order to get there. Not lying, not selling yourself short, but really just locking in. But if you made it to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. It's your boy Blue Jay Tay. Drop a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.